Okay, folks, around the air towels. I'm going to do in the channel. We're going to actually make the uh, um, we'll be painting this black, this is a dark purple, red, close to purple. Now, the thing here about that is that really see very well onto this. Now, what I could do is use a primer, but I'm trying to avoid the that I have going around. I want it to be very specific where I paint. I don't have to paint the whole thing. And the whole that's not necessarily this project. So today we're going to be something I use for oil painting, which is what this guy here is. This is a titanium. I picked this stuff, all this stuff up over at AC Moore Hobby Shop, and then I got a couple to work with. I didn't want to use my oil paint for reasons. Once you start using water in the base, you can ruin your brush. So the best is to pick up some new brushes. The white just will help or brighten up the color. So I'm gonna get it and start painting. We'll get into this really quickly. We're gonna do it. Just give me the light paint. Then make the paint. There are a couple of so. Benefits by doing this acrylic instead of staying oil. Everything's a white base. Everything is consistent. And when it comes to the end of the process, where I'm going to spray a protective layer of acrylic over everything, will help for the same jet for my base and then pick that. So you guys can keep adding oil if you wanted to, but that said, if you're going to do that, you need to consider Alright, now in today's project what we're going to be doing is we're going to take what we've done so far and we're going to be painting it. The way we're going to be approaching this is we're going to use some traditional techniques. Mainly, I'm going to go ahead and, oh, sorry for the noise of the printer. I'm working on the next project, and obviously it's in the same room as I am. So sorry for that. Anyways, let's get back to our current video. Well, what we're doing here is we're going to approach this in a certain way. The way I've decided to approach this is using some of the techniques that I've learned when it came down to oil painting. When you prep the canvas, you used a thing called gouache, which is essentially an acrylic base. So what I decided to do is go that route. You gotta remember, I want to maintain these beautiful lines that the printer produced because I think they look gorgeous. So I'm trying to maintain that, and I'm trying to keep a consistency. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to do a white base. I'm using a gouache titanium white. The brand, that's what not a big concern. You're gonna probably, if you're gonna do something similar, just find something that says gouache and a titanium white. So basically, it's pure white is what this is. And again, as I said, it's a acrylic base, so it's kind of a plastic base, kind of plastic rubbery base. A lot of times, this is mainly used for canvas print, prepping your canvases. So that's what that would normally be used for. But in this case, we're going to be using it on plastic, which again, it should work just fine, and it does. So don't be afraid to use this on your PLA prints. I'm not sure about any of the material. This is the first project that I've done this with. Then what we're going to do here after that is we're going to head and then we're going to paint up the logo. We're going to paint out the outer circle. And then I've decided to use an acrylic paint rather than an oil paint. I'm trying to keep things all water-based in this scenario here. And the reason why I didn't just paint with the color that I wanted to is that I wanted to make sure the color was bright enough for visually on camera that it can be seen well enough. And that's things that when you come down to it, you need to make those considerations before you even start. Planning your project is very important prior to the start of the project. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll make notes. I got this little book that I can write in. And it's designed where I can take a snapshot and have it transferred to multiple locations, and then I can when I'm done with the page, wipe it clean with a damp cloth. And that's the idea behind that. That's how I start most of my projects. But in this case, the more important thing is the approach that we're going to take. We're going to start by doing the base, as you can see me do now. Then we're going to move on to the color, which I am using a acrylic purple. I mean, it's a reddish purple, more of a violet color for the logo to kind of match the best I can with the current color of my logo color, or one of them. Anyways, we're going to move on. And as you can see, I get a cup of water. It's just straight up tap water. I got disposable brushes. They're just some cheap brushes that are all purpose, so they can be used acrylic or oil, it doesn't matter. And then our next step after we have all the painting done is going to be in a quick spray with an acrylic or gloss or semi-gloss. Oh, what is it called? I'm losing my mind. I've been working a lot lately. Clear coat basically is what it is to help protect the paint itself from scratching. Then I realized after I was done everything that I made a few little oopsies that I can't really fix without painting over them. So I hunted down some black paint and to correct those, and then what I ended up having to do, because the black paint didn't match correctly, is to go over the whole area and try to blend it in that way. So that's something else you'll see me do, and we'll take a look at them at the end of this and see the end results. All right, so we're going to continue with this film being sped up, and we'll go over my thoughts and feelings on it at the end of this. So the final part of this whole project here is I need to add these little foam pieces, mainly to make sure the battery doesn't fall out of place when the headset's on and shaking around. And also, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And you need them on both because just in case you interswap them, they're in the wrong, vice versa, because they're meant to be on either ear, especially in this case. So all I'm doing is I went to the craft store, picked up a piece of foam, and it should be the right thickness for this test, and then just trimming it down to the size I need. I'm not even worried about them being a little bit on the rough side. I'm going to take a little bit of CA glue, I'm going to glue them on and call it a day. With the final, whoopsie, that was not too great. Shit. Apparently I cooked the, lesson learned. See all that? That's from the CA glue. It was still wet, and I guess the heat from the battery. Well, that's interesting. I didn't realize it would do that. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm going to take some clippers and remove some of that excess glue, though. Just because... One thing I don't want to do is damage the battery. Yeah, just my fingertip nails. Ow. Okay. I know you can't see anything but my hand, but see that? The glue was still wet when I put these on. I was so anxious to get this done. Oops. My bad. I know I can pick up more batteries if I need to. This just looks like it's all external, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, so lesson learned, make sure the glue is dry before you utilize something like that. So, moving on, let's put the battery back in. It's fine. Final thoughts on the project? I know the lighting's tough and that camera angle is not the best. There's nothing I can do about that right now until I get to some other projects. As these look actually really nice, they fit nicely. The little tabs are done in the correct spot. As you can see, I painted a little dot with the base, so I know where to line up. I put a little piece of foam to help the battery to stay in on these. And we painted the logo. I believe it came out really nicely. It's not perfect. And you can see little spots if I really wanted to be picky. Now, obviously I needed 2 of them. They look great. Now we'll put them on. Since, as you know, I already have done so because I was super anxious. They fit on. And just a simple twist. There we go. They fit nice, snug. They'll become a little bit more functional over time as the plastic wears down to give it a little bit of looseness. And this will drop right on as well. There we go. And with that, the project is done. I think rather than having somebody else's logo plastered all over the screen, I'd rather have mine, the most visible. Although they do have their logo there, their name there, their logo over there. So they still have a presence. There's nothing I can do about the orange, though. But that's okay. You can't see that anyways. In the end result, I am actually really happy with these. They look good. And they're going to function well at the end of the day. Let's remove the glare as best as I can. I know the lighting's poor and I'm sorry for that. I'll give you a nice still before I end the video. Alright, now with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Now, the next one, we're going to be approaching the OpenRC project. We're going to start by printing the original Formula 1 car and start collecting the parts for that. Then we will redesign it to match the 2018 Formula 1s the best we can. They're not going to be perfect because I'm not that good. Alright, with that, catch you in the next one. Subscribe if you haven't. And hit that bell icon for future notification. Catch you later.